We had separate discussions with the Foreign Minister of Israel, with Arab partners, and with the Foreign Minister of Palestine. The most important thing was the situation in Gaza. Everybody agreed that the death toll among civilians is excessive, that the situation is as much dire as you could imagine, with a widespread hunger and a serious lack of humanitarian deliveries and access, apart from the Israeli hostages being held for over 100 days. I think that more death, more destruction, more hardship for the Gaza people, for the Palestinian people, will not help to defeat Hamas or its ideology. It will not bring more security to Israel, on the contrary. And that's why we need to double our efforts with international partners to move from this deadly confrontation towards a solution. We talk also about the situation in the West Bank and the border with Lebanon. Then we had separate exchanges with the Saudis, Jordanians, Egyptians, and Arab League. It's important that we all agree on supporting UNRWA. It was a clear message. We support UNRWA, and we don't agree with the criticism expressed by several Israelis, governmental sources, criticizing the UNRWA work. By the contrary, we support them, and I personally want to homage the more than 140 staff members of UNRWA being killed in Gaza. We talk about the post-Gaza and our joint efforts to revive the political process towards a two-state solution. We talk about the preparatory work for the peace conference. Finally, we had a discussion with the Palestinian Foreign Minister. We reiterated the support to the Palestinian Authority. Finally, at the end of the year, we made the payment of the contribution to the work of the Palestinian Authority. I have to remember that we are the strongest supporter of the Palestinian Authority from a financial point of view. We are the largest international donor to the Palestinians, and we will continue being so. And finally, I shared with the member states for our internal discussion a comprehensive approach to reinitiate the peace process, building on the efforts that we had already engaged with our partners in September in New York, some weeks before the dramatic days of the 7th of October. This was a successful meeting, and working on this initiative, I've been proposing the way towards a preparatory peace conference to address this conflict in a comprehensive manner. It's clear that today the urgency, the priority, the thing in which we have to invest all our energy is on the humanitarian side of the problem. Less than 100 trucks every day. This is unacceptable. And many member states told directly to the Israeli minister, you have to provide a quicker entrance of a truck to support humanitarian, to provide humanitarian support to the people in Gaza. 100, less than 100, 80, one day maybe. When before the war there were more than 500 a day. This is the urgency, and when we talk about the future, it doesn't mean that we don't understand which is the priority today. The priority is to provide support to the people who are in an extremely dire situation. The priority is to try to stop the military activities, stop the bombing in order to provide more humanitarian assistance and to free the hostages and to avoid more civilian casualties. And this has been clearly said to all our interlocutors today, and in particular to the Israeli minister. I think it was a clear unanimity on that among member states. But it should not prevent us to work in the long run, in the medium term, but starting now, on the preparation for a peace conference, as the European Union Council agreed, to address the conflict on the root causes and look for a stable solution. The urgency is the priority, but it is as much as important to think about how this problem can be solved. Otherwise, as I said many times, we will go from another cycle of violence and another, from funeral to funeral, from generation to generation. And this is the work that we have started with an initial draft for a peace plan. This will have to provide robust security assurances for Israel and for the future state of Palestine. On the other way, we continue working on the sanctions against extremists and violent settlers in the West Bank under the European Union Global Red Sanctions regime. And work is ongoing on the technical working groups, and I hope it will be approved by member states soon.